Oh buddy, here we go, folks. It is Wednesday afternoon. We're gonna do some fishing. Got the boat out to hook something up, and you just don't get the boat out without taking the boat out, I guess. And you're only 10 minutes from the lake, you might as well get on for a couple hours and go fishing, right? So yeah, get everything set up. We're here at Red Rock. Other than that, yeah, don't know what I'm fishing for. We could be going after white bass, crappie, shooting bows for carp. I don't know. Today's just one of the mystery days, so stay tuned. We're gonna have some fun. All right, so now we're gonna do a little special tip, a little one-on-one special tip on how to cut bait. I've been seeing a lot of guys, you know, cutting bait a certain way, which is okay, it's good for them, but I'm telling you, the more symmetrical your cut is, the more straight down line your cut is. I see some people putting at an edge or an angle. The more symmetrical, like straight line cut you make, the less your bait's gonna sit there and twirl in the water. And then this for instance, I only cut my bait as wide as wide it is. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes I'll cut it this wide, which is okay. It'll still, you know, flow perfect. Sometimes I'll cut it this side. Sometimes I'll cut it as the same width as the width of the fish, which is okay. Any wider than that, say if you was to go to there and cut that fish and hook it right in the middle, that fish is going to start doing flip and flops, and that is not natural to the body of the water. You know, that's not natural to the fish, to the predator fish. Yeah, you'll still catch some bait because it's bleeding like that, but it just, you want something as natural as possible. So, you know, especially like in here, we do have some flatheads. I want that bait as natural as possible as it can be, just in case I do have a shot at one of those bad boys. Yeah, it'll be game on. My long rod. So a lot of my rods, my catfish rods, I got several different kinds of leaders. I've got really long ones. This is like a 6-foot leader, and usually what I'll do is I'll adjust that peg float anywhere on that line to find out what the fish are doing. If they're feeding, if they're up high in water column, then I'll bring this float down closer to the hook. If they're feeding more in the mud, or if they're in more of the mud, then I'll adjust this more up towards, so it pretty much won't have a float on there. What we got going on for Red Rock Channel Cats, we got, I think it's 30 or 40 pound mono, big game, chain swivels, 175 pound, you know, release clip swivel, and then I call it the Iowa slider. You guys want to call it whatever you want. So I've actually has a barrel swivel on my main line, and then I've got a bead, and then that's a polymer knot to the snap swivel. So again, this is the only rig that I use. I don't use 3-ways, I don't use anything like that because they twist and turn too much. So this is the rig that I use for everything, even drifting, dragging, even bumping. I use the same exact rig. The only thing I change is the length of the sinker, my drop sinker, or my leader line. As far as my drop sinker, it's just 20 pound mono. I've tied a loop into there. All I use is pencil weights for dragging or drifting or whatever, and I use bank sinkers for bumping or anchor fishing on the river. So I try to keep it what I call stupid simple. That way it doesn't cost a lot of people too much money, and yeah, you can still catch a lot of fish with this, and it doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. So you don't have to spend that amount of money. Okay, here we go. First cast. We're gonna let out about about 6 to 10 foot of water, so we're going to let out about 80 foot on this one. And then on the middle rod I'll let out about 30, and then on the back rod I'll let out about 80 foot. So see how it goes. Today the wind is barely blowing, so I've got the 35 inch drift sock out. So yeah. And like I said, you guys seen videos of mine before, you know, side drifting. I mean, you guys don't have to fish, you know, the rivers. If you can't fish them, if they're not fishable, then you guys need to do some kind of other fishing. Like me, I you know, I love fishing. So if the river's not good, then I'm gonna fish after channel cats. It don't matter. So, and with drifting, side drifting, I got all my electronics off. So basically, the fish don't even know I'm here right now. They have no clue. And sometimes that does help with winter fishing. So yeah. Today we were fishing with the Rip and Lips Legacy rods, and I believe those, yeah, they're all Legacies, but these are the ultralights rods. They're mainly for channel cats. When you do get a big channel cat on, they do look like, you know, a big fish smacked it. So yeah, but they'll also handle big fish as well. I've caught like 40-pound blues on them as well. So sock, a lot of the times it takes a little bit longer to turn the boat around. So you just got to be patient and let the drift sock do its job. See, right now it's just sitting there stagnant. That's because more than likely we got some current going that way, and we got the wind kind of pushing this way. So, but here you got to look at it. If our rods are still nicely spread apart, even if we do catch a fish doing this, it's still not going to get stuff tangled up. So yeah. Got a fish on? Yep, fish on, baby. That was on. I think it's still on there. Yep, it's still on. See that? Not even 10 minutes. And we're already reeling in the fish. It's shallow water, so come right to the top. Swimming to the boat. Ooh, this might be a little bigger one. Holy smokes. This might be a little bigger one. Oh, yeah, about a 5-pounder. Worked perfectly. Corner in the mouth. I know. They are plump this year, though. So yeah, y'all wonder what I'm used for bait. Shad, of course. I got the 8/0 Team Catfish double action hook, 3-inch peg float. It's a nice, cute little channel cat. Probably about a 4.5 pounder, 5-pounder. Nice, fun fish for the day. We're still catching. Good thing about it is this bait. A lot of times, what I'll do is I'll hook it on the bottom first, and once they hit it on the bottom, then I'll hook it through the top. And that, another thing too with like hooking your baits, you don't want to hook it too deep, because a lot of times if that fish grabs a hook and the bait's up past here to the shank of the hook, then it has no way to get hooked in the actual hook part. So leave as much of that barb as possible for the fish to get hooked on. So here's the key trick right here. The key right here is having weight on this. So I'll actually put this, I'll put this, it's, I think it's a 1/2 ounce egg sinker. Put it on first. And I'll put that swivel on second. And tie it down. That way, there'll be a lot of weight on that so I can cast a long distance. And if you guys ever notice, like white bass, when they aren't feeding, they're sitting right on the bottom, close to a ledge, if they're not feeding. So when they're sitting on that bottom and they're not feeding, and they're sitting on that bottom close to the ledge, all you do is you go in the deep water and you cast to them, cast through the shallow water and come down to the deep water. It almost looks like bait fish is trying to go to the deep water. And man, they'll hit that fully spoon so hard and just start rip and drag. It also works good for like wipers, white bass, stripers. So you can catch stripers on it too. So yeah, so that all works. So just have to give it time. I don't know why something's shaking, but oh shit! Fish on, fish on. Fish on, baby. On this channel. We got some spectators. We got some spectators. It's always nice when they stop and see what we catch. 2 fish in 20 minutes. Another about a 4 or 5 pound channel cat. Mean as usual. So yeah. You know what? Nothing else is biting. Channel cats for the win. Cast as far as you can. Using that weight. Just let it go down the bottom. You'll actually feel it hit the bottom, and then just reel it back slow. When you reel it back real slow, that fully spoon's just sitting there doing this on the bottom, on the bottom. If you get on the right white bass, hundreds a day. I mean, hundreds of them. There it is. There's one. White bass action, baby. There it is. Nice whitey. A lot of people just don't know how to catch them during the day. The trick is not to get stabbed by them. So what you do is you pinch them on their gills like that, and they'll just go dormant on you. They won't bite you no more. It is loaded with them in here. I was right at the boat too. All we do is cast back out. Another one. Oh yeah. Loaded. Loaded with them. 2 white bass and 2 casts. You tell me a fish can't see out of water, I'll tell you you're crazy. Nice whiteys. There he is, right there. Oh, look at that. Well, you don't think you'd catch a drum off of a lure, but Today is definitely a multi-species day, I'd say. Look at that little bastard. Old sheephead.